Tonight is the 5th of September 2011, and this is the 5th night we are speaking on the Theragatha. Tonight we come to the group of 16 verses, 673, Anya Kondanya. Anya Kondanya was the first disciple of the Buddha who attained Aryahood. He attained the stream entry, the first of the 5 monks to attain stream entry. 673. Having heard the Dhamma of great flavor, I have more faith. Absence of passion, completely without grasping, has been taught as the Dhamma. 674. There are many paintings in the world. In this earth's circumference, they disturb imaginings, I think, which are pleasant and concerned with desire. 675. Just as a rain cloud would settle dust raised by the wind, so imaginings come to rest when one sees with wisdom. 676. When one sees with wisdom that all constituent elements are impermanent, then one becomes indifferent to pain. This is the way to purity. 677. When one sees with wisdom that all constituent elements are painful, then one becomes indifferent to pain. This is the way to purity. 678. When one sees with wisdom that all phenomena are non-self, then one becomes indifferent to pain. This is the way to purity. 679. The elder who was enlightened in succession to the Buddha, Kondanya, strong in energy, with birth and death eliminated, is perfected in living the holy life. 680. There are floods and a snare, a strong stake, a mountain hard to tear asunder, cutting the stake and the snare, breaking the mountain which was hard to break. Having crossed, gone to the far shore, the meditator is released from Mara's bond. 681. The conceited and vain monk, because of evil friends, sinks down in the great flood, overwhelmed by the wave. 682. If he were not conceited, not vain, zealous, with faculties restrained, with good friends, prudent, he would put an end to pain. 683. Here is a man with limbs like the knots of the kala plant, thin, with his veins showing, knowing moderation in food and drink, with undaunted spirit. 684. Tormented by gnats and mosquitoes in the forest, in the great wood, like an elephant in the van of the battle, one should endure there mindful. 685. I do not long for death, I do not long for life, but I await my time, as a servant his wages. 686. I do not long for death, I do not long for life, but I await my time, attentive and mindful. 687. The teacher has been waited on by me. The Buddha's teaching has been done. The heavy load has been put down. That which leads to renewed existence has been rooted out. 688. I have attained that goal for which I went forth from the home to the homeless state. What have I to do with living in the thicket? Udayan 689. A man fully enlightened, self-tamed, concentrated, proceeding to the way of holiness, delighting in the calming of the mind. 690. Whom men revere as having reached the far shore of all phenomena. Him even the Devas revere. So have I heard from the Arahant. 691. Having passed beyond all fetters, come from the wood of desire to the non-wood, delighting in the renunciation of sensual pleasures, released like gold from stone. 692. That Naga indeed outshines others, as the Himalaya outshines other mountains. Of all with the name Naga, the one who is truly named is unsurpassed. 693. I praise that Naga to you, for he does no sin. The Naga elephant's 2 front feet are gentleness and mercy. 694. The Naga elephant's other feet are mindfulness and attentiveness. The great Naga elephant has faith as his trunk and equanimity as his white trunks. 695. His neck is mindfulness, his head is wisdom. Investigation with his trunk is reflection on the Dhamma. His belly is the fireplace of the Dhamma, his tail is seclusion. 696. Meditating, delighting in inhaling, well concentrated inside. He is a concentrated Naga elephant as he goes. He is concentrated Naga elephant as he stands still. 697. He is a concentrated Naga elephant as he lies down. He is a concentrated Naga elephant even as he sits. Everywhere the Naga is restrained. That is the perfection of a Naga. 698. He eats blameless things. He does not eat blameworthy things. Having obtained food and covering, avoiding what has been stored up. 699. Having cut every fetter and bond, large or small, he goes without longing wherever he goes. 700. As a lotus born in water grows, but is not defiled by the water, being sweet-smelling, delightful. 701. The same way too the Buddha, born in the world, dwells in the world. He is not defiled by the world, as the lotus is not defiled by the water. 702. A great blazing fire is extinguished, which, when it has no fuel, and among the extinct ashes is called quenched. 703. This simile has been taught by the wise to make their meaning known. The great Nagas will understand the Naga taught by the Naga. 704. Rid of desire, rid of hatred, rid of delusion, without asavas, abandoning his body, the Naga will be quenched without asavas. This Naga is a symbol for the elephant as well as a snake spirit, as well as a hero. So this one, you look at 695, as our Kawai pointed out. This was in a sutta. We look at this verse 197. 197. We find in the Anguttara Nikaya Sutta 6.43, it also mentions about this elephant. So like this verse 197, putting over my shoulder a robe the color of mango sprouts, seated on an elephant's neck, I entered a village to beg. This seated on an elephant's neck, we look at 695, his neck is mindfulness. So when he's sitting on the elephant's neck, it means he is mindful. Mindful, he entered the village to beg. And then he descended from the elephant's shoulder, that means he lost his mindfulness. Then he felt great agitation, this 198. I was agitated, then calm. So this is probably what it refers to, not on a real elephant, but on this neck of the elephant, meaning mindfulness, as in 695. So the simile of the elephant is used for this holy man, the Brahmana, the hero, the Naga. Now we come to group of 20 verses, Adimutta, 705. Those whom we have in the past killed for sacrifice or for wealth against their will were afraid. They trembled and babbled. 706. You have no state of being afraid. Your color becomes more settled. Why do you not lament in such a fearful situation? 707. There is no mental pain for one who is without longing. Chieftain. Truly all fears have been overcome by one who has annihilated his fetters. 708. When that which leads to renewed existence is annihilated and the physical world is seen as it really is, there is no fear at death, just as there would be none at the laying down of a burden. 709. The holy life has been well lived by me, and the way has been well developed. I have no fear at death, just as I would have none at the complete annihilation of diseases. 710. The holy life has been well lived by me, and the way has been well developed. Existences are seen to be without enjoyment, like drinking poison which has been thrown away. 711. One who has gone to the far shore, who is without grasping, whose task is done, who is without asavas, is delighted at the annihilation of life, like one released from the place of execution. 712. Having attained the supreme essential rightness, being unconcerned with the whole world, he does not grieve at death, like one who has been released from a burning house. 713. Whatever has come to pass, or wherever existence has been obtained, all this is without a supreme ruler. So it has been said by the great seer. 714. Whoever understands this as it was taught by the Buddha does not take hold of any existence, as one does not take hold of a well-heated iron ball. 715. I do not have the thought I have been, nor do I have the thought I shall be. The constituent elements will cease to exist. What lamentation will there be in respect of that? 716. There is no fear for one who sees, as they really are, the pure and simple arising of phenomena, and the pure and simple causal continuity of the constituent elements, chieftain. 717. When by wisdom one sees the world as being like grass and wood, not finding possessiveness, thinking, it is not mine, he does not grieve. 718. I am dissatisfied with the physical frame. I am not concerned with existence. This body will be broken, and there will not be another. 719. Do whatever you have to do with my physical frame, if you wish. There will not be hatred or love there for me on that account. 720. Hearing his strange, exciting bidding, throwing down their swords, the young men said this. 721. But sir, what sir, having done, or who is your instructor, because of whose teaching is grieflessness therefore obtained? 722. The all-knowing, all-seeing conqueror is my instructor, the teacher of great mercy, the healer of the whole world. 723. He taught this Dhamma leading to annihilation, unsurpassed. Because of his teaching, grieflessness is therefore obtained. 724. Having heard the well-spoken utterance of the seer, having thrown down their swords and weapons, some of the thieves desisted from that occupation. Others chose going forth. 725. Having gone forth in the teaching of the welfarer, having developed the constituents of enlightenment and the powers, being clever, with elated minds, happy, with faculties formed, they attain the causally undetermined state of quenching. So it looks like this Adimutta, the Arahant, was talking to a group of thieves, bandits maybe, and some of them were so impressed that they went forth, and others changed their occupation. The next one is Parapariya. This monk, we'll hear more of him later also. 726. A thought came to the ascetic, the monk Parapariya, seated alone, secluded, meditating. 727. What order, what vow, what thing performing would a man be a doer of duty for himself and not do any harm? 728. The faculties of men are for good and for ill. Unguarded, they are for ill. Guarded, they are for good. 729. Protecting his faculties and guarding his faculties, he would be a doer of duty for himself and not do any harm. Stop here for a moment. This is quite important here. If you guard your faculties, you are doing your duty for yourself. 730. If he does not see the peril, not restraining the faculty of sight as he goes among forms, he is not released from pain. 731. If he does not see the peril, not restraining the faculty of hearing as he goes among sounds, he is not released from pain. 732. If seeing no escape, he indulges in smells, he is not released from pain, clinging to smells. 733. Recollecting the bitter, the mainly sweet, and the mainly sour, tied by craving for flavor, he is not aware of his heart. 734. Recollecting lovely, agreeable things to touch, being impassioned, he finds various sorts of pain because of desire. 735. But whoever cannot guard his mind from these mental objects, then pain follows him because of all these 5. 736. The body full of pus and blood and many a corpse is made like a beautiful painted box by skillful men. 737. One is not aware that that which has a sweet taste is bitter, that the bond with those who are dear is painful, like a razor smeared up and down with honey. So if you lick the honey, you'll get cut. 738. Passionately attached to the form of woman, the sound of woman, and the touch of woman too, and the sense of woman, one finds various sorts of pain. 739. All the streams of woman flow in the groups of 5. Whatever energetic man is able to make an obstruction to these. 740. He possesses the goal. He abides in the Dhamma. He is skillful. He is discerning. Even while enjoying himself, he may do his duty which is connected with Dhamma and the goal. 741. Being vigilant, discerning, one should avoid a profitless business which is doomed to failure, thinking, that is not to be done. 742. What is connected with the goal and what pleasure is concerned with the Dhamma, that one should take and practice, for that truly is the supreme pleasure. 743. He wishes to win possessions from others by various means, who, having killed, beaten, and caused to grief, plunders others of their possessions by violence. 744. As a strong man, when fashioning, knocks out a pack with a pack, so a skilled man knocks out the faculties with the faculties. 745. Developing faith, energy, concentration, mindfulness, and wisdom, striking the 5 with the 5, a Brahmana goes unafflicted. 746. He possesses the goal. He abides in the Dhamma, having done in every respect the whole oral teaching of the Buddha. That man prospers in happiness. Telakani, 747. Truly for a long time zealous, meditating on the Dhamma, I did not gain tranquility of mind, asking ascetics and Brahmins. 748. Who is the one who has gone to the far shore in the world? Who has attained to that which plunges into the undying? Whose doctrine do I accept, giving knowledge of the highest goal? 749. I was hooked inside like a fish swallowing bait. I was bound like the demon Vepachiti with the snare of Mahinda. 750. I drag it along. I am not released from that grief and lamentation. Who will cause me to experience bond-releasing enlightenment in the world? 751. What Brahmin or ascetic, preaching the perishability of the kilesas, whose doctrine removes old age and death, am I to accept? 752. The arrow of desire, tied together with uncertainty and doubt, fastened by the power of pride, stiff as a mind full of anger. 753. Originating from the bow of craving, connected with the twice 15, see how it stands breaking the firm heart within my breast. 754. It is the non-abandoning of false theories and is sharpened by wrong intentions and memories. Pierced by that, I tremble like a leaf shaken by the wind. 755. Having arisen within me, my individuality is quickly roasted, where the body with its 6 sense bases of contact is always proceeding. 756. I do not see the doctor who might remove that dart of mine, that uncertainty, without a probe or other cutting instrument. 757. Who without knife and without wound will remove the dart resting inside me without hurting all my limbs. 758. Truly He, the Lord of Dhamma, the best remover of the ill effect of poison, would show me dry land and His hand when I had fallen into the deep. 759. I have plunged into a pool from which the mud and dust cannot be removed, which is covered with deceit, jealousy, pride, sloth, and torpor. 760. Intentions dependent upon desire are the winds which carry along the man of wrong views, like a thunder cloud of conceit, a cloud of fetters. 761. The streams flow everywhere. The creeper, bursting up, stands firm. Who would obstruct the streams? Who will cut that creeper? 762. Make a dam, sir, an obstruction for the streams, lest your mind-made stream fell you like a tree violently. 763. So the teacher, who is resorted to by throngs of seers, whose weapon is wisdom, was a protection for me, being fearful, seeking the far shore from the near one. 764. As I was being borne away, he held out to me a ladder, well-fashioned, pure, made of the essence of the Dhamma, strong, and he said to me, do not be afraid. 765. Then I climbed the tower of the intense states of mindfulness and considered the people delighting in the individuality which previously I had thought much of. 766. And when I saw the embarkation on the ship of the way, not fixing my mind on the self, I saw the supreme landing place. 767. The dart, that which has its origin in the self, and that which is produced by that which leads to renewed existence. He taught the supreme way for the cessation of these. 768. The Buddha, remover of the ill effect of poison, cast off the knot which had long been latent in me and had long been established in me. Next one is Ratapala. This one from the Majjhima Nikaya, there's a sutta, Ratapala Sutta. So this Ratapala, after hearing the Dhamma, he decided to go forth. So he renounced his 4 wives. And his father was the richest man in that city. Then he left for many years. And then after he attained arahanthood, he came back. So when he came back to the home, came back to the town, so the parents invited him to the house for a meal. So when he went back to the house, all the 4 wives, dressed up very beautifully, came to him. So he had his meal, and after his meal, he said these words. 769. See the painted puppet, a heap of sores, a compounded body, diseased, with many bad intentions, for which there is no permanent stability. 770. See the painted form, with jewels and earrings, covered with skin and bones. It is resplendent with clothes. 771. The feet are reddened with lac. The face is smeared with powder, enough to delude a fool, but not for one who seeks the far shore. 772. Hair braided 8-fold, eyes smeared with collyrium, enough to delude a fool, but not for one who seeks the far shore. 773. The ornamented foul body is like a new painted collyrium box, enough to delude a fool, but not for one who seeks the far shore. Then he said to his parents, the hunter laid his net. The deer did not come near the snare. Having eaten the fodder, let us go while the deer trapper laments. 775. The hunter's net is broken. The deer did not come near the snare. Having eaten the fodder, let us go while the deer trapper grieves. 776. I see wealthy men in the world, having obtained wealth, they do not give it away because of delusion. Being greedy, they make a store of wealth and they desire sensual pleasures more. This one, stop here for a moment. So after he had eaten his food, not only the 4 wives came to him, his parents showed their gold and diamonds and silver and all the valuable things. And they say something like, this is only on your mother's side. This is only the wealth you have on your mother's side. Your father's wealth is still not brought out yet, which is more. So come back, and you can still do good as a layman. So he told his parents to throw away the wealth. He said, this wealth will be like a weight on your neck when you are in the river. It will make you sink. So he said all these words. So to a worldly person, you hear him saying all these things like he's a heartless fellow. His parents only want his good, want his happiness. But he's telling them all these things. So after he said all these things, then he left. He left, then he walked to the forest area to spend his day. And then the news came to the king. News came to the king, and then the king wanted to see him. Because he was a very unusual person in that town, the son of the richest man in the town, having left everything, even left his wives to become a renunciant. So when the king went to see him, then the king asked him a few questions, I think 4 questions, and asked him, what is it you saw that made you renounce the world? And that's one of the questions. And the others, you can find the Ratapala Sutta. So this following is the words he said to the king. A king, 777, a king who, having taken possession of the earth, having conquered the sea-girt earth, inhabiting this shore of the sea, is unsatisfied, would desire the far shore of the sea. In other words, our greed can never be satisfied. 778. Kings and many other men come to their death, not rid of their craving. As though lacking something, they give up the body, for there is no satisfaction in the world from sensual pleasures. 779. Kinsmen bewail him, their hair disheveled, and they say, alas, truly they are not mortal. They are not immortal. Having carried him out dressed in a shroud, having built a pyre, they burn him there. 780. He is burned, being prodded with stakes, with a single garment, leaving behind his wealth. As he dies, neither kinsmen nor friends nor companions are a protection. 781. Heirs take his wealth, but a creature goes in accordance with his actions or karma. Wealth does not follow a dying man, nor do children, nor wife, nor wealth, nor kingdom. 782. One does not obtain long life by wealth, nor does one banish old age by riches. For the wise have said that this life is short, non-eternal, subject to change. 783. The rich and the poor feel the touch. The fool and the wise man alike are touched. But the fool lies prostrate as though smitten by his folly. The wise man, touched by the touch of death, does not tremble. 784. Truly, therefore, wisdom is better than wealth. By it one gains the end of this world. For because of not gaining the end in various existences, men do evil actions from delusion. 785. One comes to a womb and the next world, undergoing journeying on in succession. Another with little wisdom, who puts his faith in him, comes to a womb and the next world. 786. Just as a thief caught at the mouth of a hole is beaten because of his own action, being of an evil nature, so people after death in the next world are beaten because of their own action, being of an evil nature. 787. For sensual pleasures, variegated, sweet, delightful, disturb the mind by their various forms. Seeing the peril in the strands of sensual pleasure, king, therefore I went forth. 788. As the fruits on the tree fall, so do men fall, young and old, after the breaking up of the body. Seeing this too, king, I went forth. Truly the ascetic state, being the only certain thing, is better. 789. Possessed of faith, I went forth in the teaching of the conqueror. My going forth was not unfruitful. Free from death, I enjoy my food. 790. Regarding sensual pleasures as a thing on fire, and gold as a knife, seeing pain from the time of entry into the womb, and great fearfulness in hells. 791. Knowing this peril, then I felt great agitation. I was agitated, then calm. Again the annihilation of the asavas. 792. The teacher has been waited on by me. The Buddha's teaching has been done. The heavy load has been put down. That which leads to renewed existence has been rooted out. 793. I have obtained that goal for which I went forth from the home to the homeless state, the annihilation of all fetters. Now we come to Malunkyā Putta, 794. The mindfulness of one who thinks about a pleasant object becomes confused when he sees its form. With undetached mind, he senses it and stays clinging to it. 795. His many sensations originating in forms increase. His mind is harmed by covetousness and cruelty. Quenching is said to be far away for one who heaps up pain in this way. 796. The mindfulness of one who thinks about a pleasant object becomes confused when he hears its sound. With undetached mind, he senses it and stays clinging to it. 797. His many sensations originating in sounds increase. His mind is harmed by covetousness and cruelty. Quenching is said to be far for one who heaps up pain in this way. 798. The mindfulness of one who thinks about a pleasant object becomes confused when he smells its smell. With undetached mind, he senses it and stays clinging to it. 799. His many sensations originating in smells increase. His mind is harmed by covetousness and cruelty. Quenching is said to be far away for one who heaps up pain in this way. 800. The mindfulness of one who thinks about a pleasant object becomes confused when he tastes its taste. With undetached mind, he senses it and stays clinging to it. 801. His many sensations originating in taste increase. His mind is harmed by covetousness and cruelty. Quenching is said to be far away for one who heaps up pain in this way. 802. The mindfulness of one who thinks about a pleasant object becomes confused when he feels its touch. With undetached mind, he senses it and stays clinging to it. 803. His many sensations originating in things to touch increase. His mind is harmed by covetousness and cruelty. Quenching is said to be far away for one who heaps up pain in this way. 804. The mindfulness of one who thinks about a pleasant object becomes confused when he knows a mental phenomena. With undetached mind, he senses it and stays clinging to it. 805. His many sensations originating in mental phenomena increase. His mind is harmed by covetousness and cruelty. Quenching is said to be far away for one who heaps up pain in this way. 806. He is not attached to forms. Seeing a form, he is mindful. With detached mind, he senses it and does not stay clinging to it. 807. As his sensation is annihilated, not heaped up, when he sees and studies a form, so he lives mindful. Quenching is said to be near him as he reduces pain in this way. 808. He is not attached to sounds. Hearing a sound, he is mindful. With detached mind, he senses it and does not stay clinging to it. 809. As his sensation is annihilated, not heaped up, when he hears and studies a sound, so he lives mindful. Quenching is said to be near him as he reduces pain in this way. 810. He is not attached to smells. Smelling a smell, he is mindful. With detached mind, he senses it and does not stay clinging to it. 811. As his sensation is annihilated, not heaped up, when he smells and studies a smell, so he lives mindful. Quenching is said to be near him as he reduces pain in this way. 812. He is not attached to taste. Tasting a taste, he is mindful. With detached mind, he senses it and does not stay clinging to it. 813. As his sensation is annihilated, not heaped up, when he tastes and studies a taste, so he lives mindful. Quenching is said to be near him as he reduces pain in this way. 814. He is not attached to things to touch. Feeling a thing to touch, he is mindful. With detached mind, he senses it and does not stay clinging to it. 815. As his sensation is annihilated, not heaped up, when he feels and studies a thing to touch, so he lives mindful. Quenching is said to be near him as he reduces pain in this way. 816. He is not attached to mental phenomena. Knowing a mental phenomenon, he is mindful. With detached mind, he senses it and does not stay clinging to it. 817. As his sensation is annihilated, not heaped up, when he knows and studies a mental phenomenon, so he lives mindful. Quenching is said to be near him as he reduces pain in this way. So we have to guard the six sense doors to reduce our suffering.